You ever try to explain the plot of The Cabin in the Woods to someone only to then discover how difficult it is to detail that flick without giving the game away? Well, Serenity is exactly like that, except, well, Cabin in the Woods didn't suck. Yeah, sadly, Serenity is nothing to do with the Joss Whedon Firefly movie from 15 years ago, which is just as well because my therapist has enough to be dealing with. And the existence of that automatically makes this the default second best movie of that title. So, best not to rub it in, I guess. Anywho, this Serenity comes to us from writer-director Stephen Knight, who gave us the really overlooked and brilliant Locke a few years ago. And it's a sexy neo-noir thriller that's, well, it's just terrible. So Matthew McConaughey is Baker Dill. Baker Dill is an Iraq war vet with a perma scowl on a rickety old boat based on a remote fishing island. He takes odd jobs, bones a local divorcee, runs private fishing trips, all to fund his true passion, the consumption of rum. He also discovers he has visions of his estranged son for some reason. Those visions, though, coincide with the kid's mom, who's a psychotically blonde Anne Hathaway, turning up on the island and offering Baker a cool 10 mil to take her abusive new husband out to sea and kill him. And that's all you're getting for plot. It's rubbish. But, well, there's a bit more to it than that, unfortunately. See, it's one of those movies that attempts to play the but it's meant to be bad card, without considering that it doesn't really gain anywhere near the clout to pull that off. And I mean outwardly aggressively bad. It goes for outright schlock cheese at times, with the cast, the cinematographer, everybody in on the guff that that's exactly what they're doing. But because the second half's such an uninteresting mess, it just never in any way feels any way worth it. And so what you wind up with is just half a bad movie, followed by half of another really bad movie. It's functional as a bad movie, I guess, but we've seen both these stars do actual bad movies many times. There's just surprisingly little fun to get out of seeing the star of Failure to Launch team up with the lead from Bride Wars to make an intentionally bad movie. It's like asking Miles Teller to intentionally play a bellend. Why waste the effort? Performance-wise, everyone's fine. What they're cleverly doing is all just essentially playing their own stock roles in an attempt to sell the whole bad movie angle. So McConaughey is playing, McConaughey. You know how it is, like your swept back, curly hair, 5 o'clock shadow, permanent head to toe skin, just glistles in a way that I'm sure in no way takes a team of 5 to apply every morning, in that way. Then Hathaway's the temptress, Jaimin Hunsu's the wise guy best friend, Jason Clarke's the guy with such little mainstream appeal that he thinks Hollywood means pantomime, the stock roles. Knight and those behind the line, they fare more or less the same as well, though they have visibly more fun when the movie is attempting to sell, though noticeably not revel in the whole bad movie element. That's the takeaway, though. You kind of feel like if they'd bothered to have any fun with it, this could have just turned out immeasurably better than it does, which is like Damon Lindelof's Fantasy Island. Though, in one sense, I suppose that kind of actually already existed as a TV show now I think about it. To be honest, in the UK this is immaterial anyway, because, well, it's opening on Sky Cinema the same day as it hits cinemas, and, well, it's quite evident that the bulk of the audience for this one are going to see it on a screen smaller than 55 inches. Which is just as well, because it's decidedly not good. Points to them for trying to lean into their batshit concept, sure, but imagine the non-shark hunting scenes from John Barrowman's Shark Attack 3 just blown out into a whole movie and then, well, take away all the fun from that. That's about what you're left with when you start to sift through this. Sometimes a cigar can just be a cigar. It doesn't have to try and mean anything else. Serenity would genuinely have been just better off just being a cigar. Like, a neo-noir thriller set on the beach with a sweaty McConaughey and femme fatale-ish Anne Hathaway from Stephen Knight. Crack open the scotch, let's do this! But no, what you actually get instead is like the Love Actually version of gift wrapping. The movie was there to begin with, and now there's a sprig of holly and a goddamn cinnamon stick stinking the thing out to the extent that you just don't care anymore. Look, if you can remember literally the only movie Craig Bierko starred in 1999, you've already seen this movie, and you've seen it done better. In fact, stick the second half of that movie on after watching the first half of Wild Things, but only the dialogue scenes, and you'd be pretty close to where this actually lands. It's not good. Not good at all. 1 star. This was bad. Faring a little better though this week is What They Had, which on the trailer alone just seems like the kind of movie you just know gets a screenplay nomination at the Oscars every year. This actually didn't, which surprises me as it plays like a very Oscar-friendly movie. Then again, it's written and directed by an emerging and buzzy female talent, which means it'll of course never be admonished because film industry. So, Hilary Swank is the single mom who returns home when her Alzheimer's-suffering mother wanders off into a blizzard on Christmas Eve. Swank's going through a separation herself, her brother Michael Shannon, his life's something of a mess, and, well, their dad, Robert Forster, he's not in pristine health himself. And so the debate becomes whether or not to put their mother, who's Blythe Danner, by the way, into a home for better care and facilities than they can offer themselves. It's boilerplate Oscar-time drama, admittedly, but it's a pretty above-average one at least. The whole thing's played in a rather boxed-in, stage play-like manner, and the cast are great with it, not a duff one in the bunch. Elizabeth Chomko shows decent promise with her handling of drama. I mean, I'd kind of expect she'll wind up adding serious gravitas to something potentially more fluffy and studio-friendly down the line. I just wasn't blown away by that. I felt like I'd been here before many times. Like maybe through the combination of so many other movies with just, parts like this, like a bit of August Osage County, a bit of Still Alice, things like that. It's an academically 3-star movie, don't get me wrong, but it's not a 3-star sparkle, This cigar really is just a cigar. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, rate, and review.